speaking of worst people in the world, what's going on with Larry Summers?
So Larry Summers, former Treasury Secretary, who's been basically at the scene of every great economic crime in our recent past, whether it's the bank bailouts, whether it's NAFTA, you could go on with him, continues to have tons of influence for unknowable reasons within the Democratic Party, and was part of this Center for American Progress push to create their own, they were like, oh, the Republicans did Project 2025. We're going to do Project 2029. So he was very influential part of this development within Center for American Progress of the economic plank of Project 2029, which is terrible. And it's part of the centrists and the corporatists trying to keep a hold on the Democratic Party, even as the base revolts against them. And Zohran Mamdani is the most popular figure in the Democratic Party. So lo and behold, this isn't a big surprise. We knew Larry Summers had a significant relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, which he had apologized for in the past. But this man is all over the Epstein emails that just came out. One of the central characters. Trump is mentioned a lot more, but Larry Summers is mentioned a lot. And we have direct emails, unlike with Trump, we have direct emails between Larry Summers and Jeffrey Epstein that come out of this. And I'll show you some of them. They're pretty wild. He was getting like relationship advice to chase after some lady while he's married, by the way, from Jeffrey freaking Epstein, and was messaging with him right up until he is put in literal prison. So very deep relationship with him. Okay, so after all of this came out, there's a bunch of public pressure, and he is now, as of yesterday afternoon or evening, could put B1 up on the screen, he has now announced that he is going to step back from all public commitments in light of those messages that were revealed with Epstein, saying he is deeply ashamed and hopes to, quote, rebuild trust and repair relationships. He will, however, continue teaching at Harvard. Let's put the next piece up on the screen. American Prospect has been doing some fantastic reporting here. I have to think that some of the pressure that came from Daniel Boguslaw here at American Prospect and others, Ryan also highlighting his, emails and also some Chinese government official connections. I'll get to that in a moment. But they talk here about the way he was guiding this project at the Center for American Progress. So according to people with knowledge of the arrangement, one of the leads on the economic policy plank for the Project 2029 project is Harvard professor and former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers, who has now been exposed as regularly exchanging emails about his personal life with the notorious sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. Officially, Summers has the title of Distinguished Senior Fellow at CAP. All three sources confirm CAP is compiling a policy blueprint in the event of a Democratic presidential victory in the next election. Summers had taken a leadership role in advising the project's economic policy arm, too, the sources said. They also said Summers was the final sign-off on a CAP housing policy paper set to be released next week. And CAP has now confirmed that as part of his announcement that he will be stepping back, Saagar, from public commitments, he is also stepping back, will no longer be involved with Center for American Progress and presumably this policy project.
Yeah, but I think what's important to note about Summers is, first of all, this whole I'm deeply ashamed. It's like, dude, you're really deeply ashamed because he got caught, okay? And in terms of look, you could already have judged him on his policy record in the Clinton White House or anywhere else as the Trump or as the Harvard University president. Like, he clearly had a long relationship there with Epstein. But what's really disgusting is the way, look, remember, this is all post-sex offender conviction, number one. Number two, in terms of Larry, his own wife is apparently sending Epstein recommendations for books, including Lolita, all right? Which, if you'll remember, he actually was found with a first edition copy of Lolita, which is, disgusting. Yeah, if you don't know what it is, Google it, okay? And it's one of those where inside of this, piece about his lecherous behavior and luring this woman and kind of looking to Epstein as like this wingman, literally. That's the way that they describe it. You're like, this is so repulsive. And I saw a very interesting piece in The Wrap, actually, where a columnist was coming to grips with the fact, she was like, I've long been an insider, and every Thanksgiving I am confronted with a relative who believes that the world is run by a global pedophile elite. And she's like, now it's painful to admit that they were correct. I'm like, yeah, it's true. Look, I'm a cynical guy. I've lived here for a long time. You hear stories, about things and all of that. Even not, like, when you really read the birthday book, it's shocking. Like, it's shocking to see some of the world's richest and most powerful men, including our current president, past presidents, and others, but, oh, Jeffrey, I mean, Trump, wonderful secret, the check thing about the ex-girlfriend, the drawings and the cartoons.
Like, intentionally childlike
right, the
drawings.
childlike
That probably freaked me out more than anything.
And remember that, I still haven't been able to track that guy down. I've been looking for him. The guy with the child drawing, where it looked like literally some Eyes Wide Shut pianist type thing. Like, I'm telling you, I tried for days to actually find the guy who drew that. I think he lives in Spain, but, you know, completely unable to find. The fact that he hasn't come out at this point is kind of weird, in my opinion. It was a small child at the time that that drawing was done. You'll recall, you know, some of the emails that I was reading recently, Epstein replied to somebody and was like, please send a picture of you and your child, always puts a smile on my face.
Ugh.
Weird. Sorry, weird, all right? Weird. It's one of those where you look at their own, like, winking, nodding behavior. Not to mention, I mean, remember the birthday book? They literally were making rape jokes in there. They're like rape fantasies about wearing masks while they're holding guns and knives, about going out and, like, just finding someone to violently rape them. Like, this is the stuff that they joked about. So, like, if you're joking about that, what's actually happening? I mean, behind the scenes and from a very, very young age. So, the fact is Larry Summers was a part of that. And what we always try to say is, like, yeah, the whole point of the Epstein story is it ain't just Summers. It's Leon Black. It's Les Wexner. It's Trump. It's Bill Clinton. It's Bill Gates. It's the Nobel Peace Prize people. It's a bunch of Israeli former prime ministers. It's,
At least one anyway.
No. It's 4 that he has known connections to. Yeah, in terms of, you know, potential lecherous behavior, you're right. But in terms of having direct connection to, we have at least some mentions of 4 separate Israeli prime ministers that he's had a connection to. Mongolia's president, Cote d'Ivoire, the daughter there of the leader. I mean, this paints a picture which is, I mean, it's eyes wide shut, literally. Like, it is a actual representation of look, at the end of the day, what do people always say? Like, absolute power corrupts absolutely. And so we already know that people who are filthy rich live a very different life from all of us. In fact, just yesterday, I'm one of those suckers for one of those Wall Street Journal stories, which is like how the ultra rich are living in luxury. And it's like, these super rich Miami real estate developers just invite a Wall Street Journal reporter along with them to brag about their private dinner clubs and their jet-setting lifestyle. And I was like, wow, you people not only have no shame, but it's one of those where you're, like, openly bragging about how the richer that you are, how pleasant it is to get away from as many peasants as possible. I mean, they're like, say this shit out in the open. I mean, they say it in a more polite way. Obviously, it's like, oh, well, real luxury is not whatever. My point is just, like, it's almost just like out in the open now at that point. And I mean, that's why I think the Epstein story matters. It's because it just shows that they transcend a level above where not even normal, but like normal-ish people are. And they act with a totally different set of rules. And that set of rules corrupts at the soul level, at the financial level, at the government level.
Truly does.
And those are the people broadly who are in charge of the world's riches and of the world's governments. I think we should all grapple with that.
I mean, I think having a bunch of billionaires is inconsistent with democracy. I think it does, like you said, corrupt you on, like, a deep foundational level where, you just don't see yourself as part of this sea of humanity. And there's also this level of decadence and boredom that seems to come where it's just like, you know, you're just looking for more and more elaborate displays of, like, wealth or opulence or, you know, decadence in other ways. With Larry Summers in particular, I really want people to, I don't know how much you know about this man, but he's sort of the ultimate Washington, like, serious thinker, you know, very highly esteemed. Harvard obviously has advised multiple presidents. He's always consulted. Trump still would call, you know, I mean, Biden still was talking to him. Obviously, even now, even before these emails came out, we knew about this relationship with Epstein, but Center for American Progress is still bringing him in for their economic policy plank. Like, he's seen as the ultimate, like, serious economic thinker, especially in Democratic circles. And so, you know, to have these emails revealed, which are disgusting. Let's put the next Harvard Crimson tear sheet up on the screen, which details some of them. So, a Summers sought clandestine relationship with woman he called a mentee. Epstein was his, quote, wingman And Saagar used that terminology. Like, that's how
no,
they
it's real.
referred to it, right? That's not our characterization. That was how they referred to this relationship. And so I'll read you a little bit of this. They say, in a sequence of texts and emails between November 2018 and July 5th, 2019. What happens in July of 2019, Saagar?
Yeah.
Epstein goes to prison.
Question.
So he's emailing this man right up until he goes to prison. Summers turned to Epstein for advice on his pursuit of this woman, who he described as a mentee. Epstein was quick to chime in with assurances and suggestions, describing himself in one November 2018 message as Summers' wingman. Then it explains how they became public. Summers' correspondence with Epstein, a financier who pled guilty to soliciting prostitution from a minor in 2008, ends just one day before Epstein was arrested on new sex trafficking charges. Together, the messages show Summers placing an extraordinary degree of trust in Epstein, asking him for help in navigating a relationship that blurred the boundaries of his professional and personal lives. Again, by the way, Larry Summers married during this entire time. Summers, who was married since 2005, told Epstein he thought the woman was reluctant to leave him because she valued his professional connections. Epstein told him in one June 2019 text, "She is doomed to be with you. Think for now I'm going nowhere with her except economics mentor," Summers wrote. "I think I'm right now in the seen very warmly in rearview mirror category. She must be very confused or maybe wants to cut me off but wants professional connection a lot and so holds to it," Summers wrote in a March 2019 exchange, explaining why he believed she continued to engage with him despite tensions. Which, listen, is also disgusting that he knows she doesn't really want to be with him romantically, but he has this powerful position and sort of hold on her. So he's using that to maintain the sexual relationship, even though what she really wants is actually just the mentee relationship, is disgusting. Like, that's what he's acknowledging in these emails to Epstein, is like, that's the hold that he has on her, and that's what he's gonna exploit to keep her close.
It's like it's like a parody of Me Too, you know? It's one of those where it's like you bring together power.
The power
access,
dynamic, yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, God, like, and look, you know, it was a critic and stuff of Me Too, but like some of these people are real. Like some of these creeps, it started for a reason. I mean, I have no other way really to describe it. Put some of the emails. Let's go to B4 just to show everybody. Let's put it up here on the screen. Again, March of 2019, he says, "We talked on the phone, then I can't talk later. Didn't think I can talk tomorrow. I said, what are you up to? She said, I'm busy. I said, awfully coy you are. Then I said, did you really rearrange the weekend we were going to be together because guy number 3 was coming? She said, no, his schedule changed after we changed our plans. I said, okay, call me when you feel like it. Tone was not of good feeling. I didn't want to be in a gift-giving competition while being friends without benefits." This is Larry in March 2019. How old is he at this point? Like 60 something? Epstein, "She's smart, making you pay for past errors. Ignore the daddy. I'm going to go out with motorcycle guy. You reacted well, ... Annoyed shows caring. No whining showed strength." I mean, yeah, like this is literally like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's like teenage behavior, which weird even at that point, but these are 60-year-old men who are, you know, ultra rich, who are also, in Larry Summers' case, literally married. I mean, I have no idea how he can ever show his face in public ever again. Let's go to the next one, shall we? In terms of the emails, same thing. You know, this was from Larry Summers to this woman who he was wooing. He said, "I wanted to show how grateful I am and have been for your support, also for the support of my father's work." This is what she's saying. "I don't say these things often, but I hope it implies," you know, it's one of those where he is exploiting this relationship and his own past relationship with her father to like try to woo this girl. I mean, or this woman, right? At the time, I just think it's really sick.
So this is the woman that it appears the messages were about. And so he had this mentee relationship with her. But in addition, her dad is a CCP official. So, you know, I mean, there's just all sorts of layers of morally, professionally inappropriate. I mean, it's gross. And then the fact that this man was up until this moment so trusted by so many people in power here in DC is extraordinary. I can put B6 up on the screen here from Zed Jelani. This was the original. He's deeply ashamed after new Epstein emails and will pause public engagement. So there you go. That's the tale of Larry Summers here. But, you know, he's just emblematic of so many. And the fact that Epstein had these close relationships with people like him who are held in such high esteem by so many elites and looked to for guidance and wisdom and serious person, blah, 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 is part of how he was able to maintain all of his, his wealth and his connections and his banking relationships. This is one piece. Because he would use the fact that like, oh, well, Larry Summers trusts me, well, Bill Gates trusts me, well, Elon Musk trusts me, so why wouldn't you? And the fact that they all had this cone of silence around it is how it was perpetuated for so long.
And they had no moral standards. I mean, again,
Zero.
even if somebody was like, hey man, so-and-so, he's a good guy. I'm like, yeah, maybe. And then you do a Google search and you see conviction for, I'm like, yeah, I'm good. It's like, and it'd be one of those where I'd be like, hey, do you know about this? And if they're like, oh yeah, but he said she actually was, she looked 18 or something, I'd be like, oh, okay, bro, like this is not happening.
And even if, they love to downplay, Alan Dershowitz still out there downplaying it like, oh, the girl she was 17, right. It's just one, they were so harsh on him, blah, blah, blah. But these emails, again, leading up until literally he's arrested, day before he's arrested and put in prison, this was after Julie K. Brown had done all of her reporting for the Miami Herald about how, no, there were dozens of girls, we're talking down to what the youngest was like 13. So he got this slap on the wrist, totally rigged and inappropriate, literally illegal sweetheart deal. All of that is in the public domain. So even if Larry Summers wanted to be tricked by Epstein's, oh, well, it was just, I hired a prostitute once and I didn't know that she wasn't 18, whatever, which is still disgusting, right?
Yeah, right.
But even if you, wanted to buy that, at this point in time, it's all out there. I mean, we have learned more over the years, but the general shape and the web of how disgusting this was out in the public record, and he was still seeking relationship advice for his affair from this man.
Yeah.
Just grotesque.
Yeah. Again, I mean, they live in a different world than the rest of us, I guess. I don't really have another word for it. Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show ad-free and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.